G'day cocktail lovers. This is a cocktail from Phil Ward of Death & Co. Someone who really knows their business with cocktails. It's called an 18th century. You do get quite a few cocktails that are the something century. I think the original one was the 20th century, which is from the early 20th century, but it was named after a train rather than the century. As that's a fairly well-known classic, a lot of bartenders come up with riffs that are kind of modeled on the structure of that, and they will call it another century. This one, for whatever reason, Phil Ward called an 18th century, and the reason I decided to try this one, besides the fact it's a Phil Ward recipe and Death & Co make killer cocktails, is it centers around Batavia Arrack, which is Indonesian rum. I actually have some. This is almost the last of my Batavia Arrack. It's super weird. That is incredibly difficult to get in Australia. And I say weird because it's from Indonesia, which is our neighbor to the immediate north. You would think it was very easy to get, but it's virtually impossible. I don't think I'll bother paying as much as I had to get that, because although people talk up it's different because besides having the molasses base that rums have, it has a little bit of local red rice in the ferment as well. I will cop to having not the world's most subtle and refined palate, but this does not taste sufficiently different to other rums for me to go, oh, I must have that. I will probably just stick with rums that are easier to get. Having said that, I've made the 18th century, I've used proper Batavia Arrack, and I'll have a little taste. And it is a nice blend of different elements in this cocktail. I'll show you how to make it right now. In our shaker, we put 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of Batavia Arrack, and then we're doing 3/4 of an ounce, around 22.5 mils of white creme de cacao, and then we're doing 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 mils of punt. And then rounding things out, we're doing 3/4 of an ounce, 22.5 mils of lime juice. Add ice to the shaker, shake that good and hard for 10 or 15 seconds to chill and dilute the drink, and we strain that into a chilled coupe. This has a nice tropical vibe with the rum and lime juice, but it's also a bit earthier thanks to the punt. I feel like this is an interesting halfway between something like a Manhattan and your brighter tropical drinks. So if you like either or both of those, I think you might like this. It's at least an interesting drink to try, and it's always good to try something new. If you do try it, I hope you let me know what you think of it. And just whatever you're doing, I hope you're taking care. I do hope to see you again soon. Until such time as I do, I will say cheers.